someone who does a lot of good work for our community here in the Boston area and beyond is Christina Valenzuela, the founder of Pearl and Thistle. Thank you for being here, Christina.
Oh my gosh, Monet, thank you so much for making time and for inviting me to this conversation this morning. I'm really excited.
No, same here. And for those who don't know about Pearl and Thistle, can you please just explain maybe the name of it and also the work that you're doing?
Sure, yeah. So Pearl and Thistle, it's the culmination of a lifelong process of self-discovery, figuring out what are the unique gifts that I bring and can use to serve the church. So Pearl and Thistle is actually named after my many times great-grandmother, St. Margaret of Scotland, who's the Pearl of Scotland, and her husband, Malcolm, who's the Thistle. So it's a way of kind of bringing my family into the work that I do and carrying on their legacy. I don't know what they have to do with body literacy. So the work that I do is, one aspect is providing parish ministry models for natural family planning support. So making sure that couples who use NFP feel supported in their local community with ministries and resources. But the bulk of what I do is kind of this educational model that's lifelong body literacy. So it begins before a girl gets her first period at Menarche and introduces her to Cycle Prep, which is kind of my flagship program, which was a finalist with the OSV Innovation Challenge in 2021.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then it moves on to teaching them basics of charting for health, and then introduces single women into charting for kind of self-reflection, so that by the time a girl has gotten all the way to adulthood, she already understands her biology. She's able to incorporate it in a beautiful and positive way into her sense of self, into her relationships, into her relationship with God, and that's my ministry. So it's a big idea, but it's very exciting for me.
And it's very good and necessary because, you know, growing up, you know, speaking of middle school, I remember those were the times that your mom or some, you know, mother figure in your life left under your pillow a book about a woman's body. And it was like, good luck, try to figure it out.
Read this.
Right. Or, you know, we have so many, you know, I don't want to generalize, but we do have a lot of doctors and primary care physicians who just say, you know, here's the pill, here's contraceptive, like anything that's going wrong with your body, this is what will help it. And oftentimes each woman has an individual way of how her needs need to be met in the health portion of her makeup. So for the woman that maybe like myself, those were kind of the paths that they were offered. And they're like, well, now I'm in my 20s or my 30s, but I haven't really gotten to know how my body works. Is it too late for them, or where can they begin discovering that in, you know, the resources you offer?
Oh, it's never too late. I mean, I have clients who come to me to learn NFP for the very first time as they're hitting perimenopause. So it is never too late to learn. So, you know, doctors haven't really been trained to utilize cycles in a constructive way, but they are, ACOG recognizes a fifth vital sign for women's health. And so I do have a charting guide for single women that allows you to learn how to chart your cycle, to understand what's going on in your cycle. And then it has a whole list of, like, if you see these certain things on your charts, this might be going on, and you might be able to bring this up in a constructive conversation with your doctor, because while it's true that many doctors may be hostile to natural family planning or to these sorts of approaches, the simple fact of the matter is they haven't been trained in it, you know, and so a lot of times it is just ignorance. And so being able to bring this into your doctor and say, here's what I know, let's work on this together, that can put you off on a really good footing.
Good. And then even to, you know, oftentimes we think, okay, the woman is the only one who needs to know about her body. But clearly with NFP, and especially with engaged couples or married couples, the man is actually supposed to be in those conversations as well. So how does that balance, and what resources do you offer for these couples as well?
Well, so I do natural family planning instruction, and I have a general presentation that I love to give that's like an overview of natural family planning and how does the science work. And I often kind of coach couples on how to make this a shared experience. But one of my favorite things is when I have a couple come to me, they're an engaged couple, and we're learning about how the science works, and you can just see his face, you know, he'll be like, wow, I never knew this about you, or you're so complicated, right? And it's a beautiful thing to discover. So definitely learning together and inviting men into these conversations. And I would love it if, like, young Catholic professionals groups or young adult groups would pull men aside and say, here's what you can understand about women's biology. And this can actually help you in your dating relationships. This can help you understand the woman that you are falling in love with. And we can work together to kind of build better relationships that way.
Good. Well, Christina, I know we don't have much time, but if any of these women or men who are watching and they want to learn more and receive the resources, whether a single woman, dating woman, married woman, where can they go to learn more about Pearl and Thistle and the work you're doing?
Sure. I mean, I've made it hopefully pretty easy. So my website is pearlandthistle.com, and then on my Instagram and Facebook handle, it's @pearlandthistle. I do have a few local events coming up in the Boston area. If you're a parent at Lumen Verum and you want to hear about my parent presentation, I'll be doing a presentation at Pure in Heart next week. And then also, I do have a book that's coming out next year with OSV, which is about helping women understand their cycles as part of the way that we image God and to be able to implement that in a positive way in our lives.
Good. Well, Christina, thank you for all the good work that you're doing. Know of our prayers for you. Thank you for being here. And